What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Derek D. Wild, man. And what we're doing today is we're finishing up. Excuse me, I apologize. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Derek D. Wild, man. And today we're going over a video where I played the C3 Sicilian. And as you can see from the thumbnail, it's how to crush a master with the C3 Sicilian. In this video, I had the white pieces. And this white pieces against the national master name, uh, Quan. His real name is Nagish. But we just shorten it for Quan, a very, very strong national master out of Buffalo. Resides in Buffalo, Atlanta, Detroit. Played in the Wild Man Action Swiss tournament. Time Pro was game in 30 with no delay. I had the white pieces. He had the black. As you know, I always play E4, and like I tell everybody, my principles test, and you probably heard it before, is fight for the center, nice before bishop, get castle. So as you can see, I play E4. As you see on the screen, it already opens up the diagonal for the F8-6 diagonal, putting the bishop there attacking F7. He plays C5. C5 is the beginning of the Sicilian defense. As you know, the Sicilian defense is one of the top responses to E4, and it's also the most aggressive. I play C3, and for me playing C3, this begins the C3 Sicilian or the Applin, however you pronounce it. It's an anti-line Sicilian, kind of with the main line. You know, a lot of chess players play, knight F3, D6, D4. They go into a lot of main lines theory. So if you trying to avoid that, you could play stuff like the C3 Sicilian, the close, Grand Prix, stuff like that. Shout out to my boy DM James Candy. Uh, he got a lot of material on the C3 Sicilian, and he's helped me out a lot with it. So I played C3 because I just didn't want to go to a main line or play a variation or line of the Sicilian that he knows better, excuse me, than me. And also the plan with C3 is just to come on D4 next and fight for the center. My opponent plays D5. Also remember, white or black, plan doesn't change. Fight for the center knight before bishop get castle. That goes for white and black in the opening. I take. I mean, he doesn't take. He plays knight f6. Uh, the land, the capture of the pawn, developing the piece. Uh, I could play moves like c4 to keep the pawn, but I believe in development, and I don't want behind in development. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes some opponents will give up a piece for rapid development. So knight f6, I just ignore that. I play four, he takes, I take. He plays knight x. Now we're gonna sit back and analyze this position from here and tell me what you think. So you look at your strong points and your weak points, right? I have an isolated pawn. And if you don't know, a lot of my chess players don't know, an isolated pawn is a pawn that sits on a file by itself that's not protected by another pawn. So the only way I can protect this pawn is with my minor pieces, be a knight or a bishop. So a lot of times when you get an isolated pawn, it can be a weakness or it could be a strength. If we trade off all these pieces and go into the end game, the isolated pawn becomes the strength because it becomes the potential pawn. Now, if you're playing with black, the plan is to always take control of the square in front of the pawn and not capture it. So that's what I did. Play knight d5. You know what I'm saying? Good strong square in front of the pawn, creating a blockade. I develop my piece, knight c3. I challenge it, right? You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, he will, change, exchange the pieces on c3, and I don't have an isolated pawn. It's still a weakness, but not as bad as the isolated pawn. Play c6, being kettle on the bishop. Uh, Planning to attack the d4 pawn by putting the bishop on g7, putting threats here. I still follow my plan development because we got to get developed. Bishop c4. Now I'm hitting the d5 square as you can see twice with the bishop and the knight. The knight is only protected once with the queen. He plays knight b6, attacking my strong bishop. The bishop comes back and he castles. I castle, knight c6. He's putting hella pressure on the isolated pawn. One, two, three. Look how many times this isolated pawn is being attacked. I have it defended 1, 2, right? With the queen, I apologize. I play bishop e3 to protect it, bishop g4. And now as you can see after bishop g4, his plan is to grab this pawn. He has the knight on c6, queen on D8, bishop on D7, and then he has this bishop pinning my knight, which meaning he can grab this pawn, and I can't grab back with the knight because it's pinned, and I don't want to drop material. And this is why a lot of people try to avoid isolated pawns because they are very, very complicated positions to play. Uh, but as you become a better chess player, you have no problem with it. I immediately play H3. He captures, and he plays bishop H4. Isolated pawn has dropped. Black has achieved his plan. And I tell a lot of my students, and my coach tell me, you always have a plan when you play chess. Always have a plan. Even if it's a bad plan. A bad plan beats having no plan at all. Because if you're playing chess with no plan, you're walking in the forest with your blindfold on, risking to get hurt. So his plan worked. He piled up on the isolated define and he won it. Problem is capturing with the bishop is the wrong capture, and it allowed me to get a lot of play. What I mean by that is this bishop right here was the key primary defender of the dark square, right? So he removed the bishop. I'm not going to never play bishop x d4 to get knight x d4. That's no way. I put pressure on it because I pin the bishop with the rook. So now if the bishop move, I take the queen. And it has to be protected. Bishop x d4, knight x d4, he plays e5. E5 is the fatal mistake. And the reason why E5 is a fatal mistake, and the reason I was able to title this video how I crushed a national master with the C3 Sicilian, and also to show you that national masters make mistakes. E5 is uh, a bad move because look at the dark squares; they're weak. F7 is weak. Now I get to play this move bishop h6, which I did play, attacking the rook. If the rook moves, F7 is being hit twice by the queen, right? So now he's under a lot of pressure in the game in 30. Game in 30 game with no delay. And he has to figure out what he's going to do. And I know I'm finna go up the exchange. But I'm going to give props to Quan because when he went down the exchange, he played hella strong and actually had accurate piece. I say compensation and a good plan and a good solid foundation, even down the exchange where the engine was actually favoring him. But it's hard to calculate, as a computer, because when you're a human, you play with feelings. So bishop h6, he plays queen h4, I capture, I play knight e4 to put pressure on the f6 square, cap king g7, knight d6. Knight d6, queen e7, knight c4. Now, for my followers who listening, my plan was bad. And what I mean by this is during this time, well, I broke 2000, but during this time, I was not going to this tournament 19, playing the national master. I'm up the exchange. And I believe we're under 15 minutes. The problem I made, even though I won this game, was I was kind of relaxed and kind of put took my foot off the gas instead of keeping the foot on the gas, pushing keeping pressure on black. What I mean by that is 94 was a good 96 queen f6, knight c4 was a bad move. What I mean by that is I was trying to trade pieces, knight c4, going here trying to trade pieces off. When I really should have put the knight, I apologize. I really should have put the knight on b5, going after the bishop on d4, which is the strongest piece on the board. What I mean by that is this bishop is very strong. Like it controls, it's blocking off the d5. It's got pressure on f2, b2. Like this, the strongest piece. But in my mind, I just want to trade down because I was always taught when you're up material to trade down, you will win. But my plan was knight c4 take, bishop x b2, queen b3. It was okay. Bishop b4. Now the bishop goes back to b4. I can't take the pawn to b7. This is where uh I started to lit the game. I felt like I was losing control of the game and the tempo, even though I'm up the exchange. And this is where I tell y'all to always have a plan. And my plan was bad. Like, it was bad, but how can I put it? It was bad, but I found a nice tactical shot to press bishop F4. I went bishop B5. Reason I play bishop B5 because I'm still trying to exchange pieces. Rook E8, take, take. My plan was bad because it didn't do nothing, right? It didn't do nothing. My bishop was stronger. I shouldn't have traded my bishop for the knight on C6 because the knight wasn't doing nothing. And also after me trading, right, I played king H1, C5. He has a pass pawn. This is a strong, strong bishop, and this is 2200 plus play by black, right? Strong bishop. His bishop is actually stronger than my rook in this. So after king H1, I think we were under 5 minutes. I come with this plan. I play F4. He plays E4 immediately, and the engine is favoring black hella good. It got black winning because he has potential fast pawn E4. Queen is behind it. He could just push this pawn all the way down and fork my rook. So I play F5, play C3, and I want you to take some time and I'm gonna give y'all a couple minutes. I'll say about a minute to see can you see the move I came up with. And the reason I came up with the move is I do a lot like my friend, shout out to my friend, he didn't tactics, 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 yard, uh forcing moves, calculation, stuff like that. I want you to take a minute and tell me, do you see the move I played that won the game, that turned the game around uh for me in my favor? And when I played this move, my opponent was shocked because the move was so strong. I don't think he expected that from a class. Okay, so I gave y'all a few seconds. So after F5, E3 was played, black has threats. He's gonna play E2, and if he plays E2, he's pretty much winning. I play F5, and what I noticed is, yes, this bishop is strong, but the position is changed. What I mean by that is he has a weakness on F6, and I do a lot of puzzles. I do a lot of calculations. I play Rook X with the X. Rook X D4 is a phenomenon. The reason Rook X D4 works is I ain't gonna say it worked, but it shocked him in the game of 30 years. CXD4, I play F6 check, right? Queen X F6, Rook X F6. So he has to play accurate moves because if he don't, he could possibly be down a rook in this position. So he plays E2, which was the correct move. I play F6, he takes, I take. Now the position is crazy because I know he's right. E1 check, king, H2, he plays CX D4. Now, Queen E5 check doesn't work because I can potentially slide Rook over to F4 and I'm up the Rook. Rook X D4 doesn't work because Queen F7 check. I mean, yeah, that's what he played. Rook X D4 doesn't work because I got, a potential mate. CX D4, Queen F7, King H8. Now, I tell my students, and I'm gonna tell y'all the hardest game to win is they win the game. King is on H6, but I have to win this game with accurate play. What I mean by accurate play is I know I'm close to mating, so I have to create a mate net. So I have to look and try to stop all the black precise play. So I play rook e6. Rook e6 you cuts the queen off because potentially he wants to go queen e5 check and get the free move. But now rook e6 cuts the queen off. Queen goes to h4. Rook e7. Now I have the rook cutting off the e5 square, and I'm also threatening check. Plays rook d5. I play instead of king h7 check. I play queen f8. The reason I play that because after queen takes h7 check, but a lot of y'all probably saw off the top of your head, what's the follow through? King g5. What's the follow? I don't have no check because the rook is covering the d5 square. You know what I'm saying? I can't go after queen. So queen f8 check, chasing the queen further, and g3. And G3 is the winning move because the game is over. Queen has no good squares. Can't go to E4. Can't go to F4. Can't go to E4. I mean, it can, but it'll lose. If he goes to H5, I play Queen F4 mate, Queen F6, Queen H6, he mate, and that's game. Plays Queen H6, I play Queen F4, King H5, Queen H4 check. And that's how I crushed a national match. C3 Sicilian. This is Derek D. Wild, man. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Please leave comments. Leave your comments in the comment chat. Give me the feedback of what you think. I'm gonna try to do a video at least once a week. This is Derek D. Wild. Thank you for your support. Like you said, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow the channel. Peace and love. I'm out.